Okay. Hey, everybody. We should be live and we should be recording. I am in Einstein Bagels because that made sense to me to get work done. And I didn't quite think about this video or doing this video or the topics that I'd have to be talking about out loud in a public place. All right. So I will probably be using a lot of synonyms today. So just go with me so I don't get kicked out of the very public place, which I am in. So, but welcome to fall. It's like productivity, and I've had 2 cups of coffee. And so, if I randomly, spontaneously jump up, that is why. Again, the things that make sense when you don't think about your whole day. So, so here I am. Okay, Jessica has the title for us today, or what we're going to be talking about today, so she can use words without the synonyms, and then we'll just go from there.
Well, and to a certain extent, I almost want to talk about how it is sometimes it can be really important to have intimacy or connect in a public place and how
Mm.
to be able to do that in a covert way, because there are ways to do that. Um,
Ew.
that is kind of what's coming up for me when you're in a public place and we're talking about intimacy, because I think that that is important, that it doesn't just
Yeah,
have to be in your own home.
yeah.
But one of the other things that we were talking about is the accountability and responsibility in sex and like where that
Mhm.
lies,
Yeah.
and being responsible for your own orgasms and what your body is doing. I
Hmm.
think a lot of times I run into some couples either because they don't have a whole lot of experience, or there
Yeah.
could be religious trauma
Mm.
and shame, like a lot of
Hmm.
shame involved, particularly in people of different sizes.
Yes.
Mostly because I've seen very skinny people are like, I'm very bony, or larger people are like, they're not going to be attracted to me because that's not what
Hmm.
I see in day-to-day activities. Feeling very self-conscious
Yeah.
to the point that they're not able to, like, I don't want to touch myself. I don't want to show him how to touch me or her to
Hmm.
touch me.
Hmm.
I don't want to be naked. I don't want to have
Hmm.
clothes on. Um,
Hmm.
and so how much of that is your partner's responsibility and how much of that is yours?
Definitely so. I think also the thing that's coming up for me as you say that and we talk about this topic is how many people can't own their own intimate pleasure, and they
Mhm.
can't own even their own desire for it. And so, to the extreme of some people have um, rape fantasies
Mhm.
because they can't own that for themselves. Like, so if somebody comes to me and makes this thing happen, then it happens for me. And I
Mhm.
never had to want it. Like, I never had to own my own desire.
Well,
Um,
and I think that there are instances where, and of course, my mind immediately goes to, like, there are times where that's not the case, because if we
True, true.
but I think to a certain extent, I met with a couple fairly recently where, like, she was expressing all of this frustration that she hasn't had a climax in a month,
Mm,
but
hmm.
they've had several instances of intimacy, and was like,
Yeah,
who is
yeah.
responsible for your climax?
Right?
Like, and when we were talking about how to get ready and how to get prepared, and like, do you, like, what if you start by
Hmm.
masturbating? Like,
Hmm.
what if you, like, get the thing primed, and
Hmm.
she's like, I can't do that in front of him. Like, I can't. And I'm like,
This will work a lot better if y'all could work in partnership.
well, and so it was really interesting because she was like, this is a hard limit for me. Why is he not being pressed for hard limits? And I'm like,
You gotta still figure out how you can work your own body.
well, and that's like, when we don't know of our own body, we are the only people who know
Yeah.
our body as much as our, like, someone
Hmm.
else shouldn't be more versed in my body than me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Not my doctor, not my partner.
Right? Like, and nobody else is gonna feel the sensations that you feel.
Yes.
And so working with clients, like I always want clients to work in partnership. And so how can we work together to make each other feel good?
Mhm.
What part of it do you want to be responsible for? What part do I want to be responsible for? Like, when does that need to change? And making sure they're having good conversations around that is really, really important. And also understand that it is going to change across the lifespan. And so it's not a one conversation. Now I know what I'm supposed to do. They know what they're supposed to do, and we do that forever. No,
No.
it is a constantly evolving. Hey, I know we're doing this like this, but that's not working for me anymore. Could we start doing this differently? Is it okay if I do this to get me to this place while you do this? Like what, how does that change our dynamic? How does that affect you? Like what do and really make sure that couples are having those conversations. And and I've seen it on both sides where I think you already said one partner just kind of shows up and is like, make magic happen for me.
Mhm.
And this idea that that other partner should know when they can't read your brain, they can't feel your feeling.
Right.
And so I can't iterate enough. This is a partnership.
Mhm.
And if you are not being verbal, you need to be verbal. And so even if you are expecting your partner to play you like a guitar, that is your expectation. You still have to make noise so they know what to do.
Ooh, I love that analogy.
Right. And so if we can't say full out words, ooh, ah,
We also
you
have to
have
be
to
aware.
communicate.
We also have to be aware of the dynamic because most
Hmm.
people don't view people as guitars. So, like, if I want to come in and have no responsibility for things,
Right.
it needs to be a dynamic that's communicated.
Hmm.
And I am not going to be participating in,
Hmm.
when you just figure this shit out on your own.
Hmm.
And if that's what I'm wanting, that is I am achieving. But then I can't also be like, well, you didn't get me there. Well, you didn't.
Right. Right. You didn't make me play that song. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You didn't give
Well, I
me
don't
any
know the
feedback.
song. Like, you gotta
Mm-mm.
hum a few bars.
Let me know if I'm in the right direction. Like this is old school hot and cold. Like you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer, you're getting warmer. And figuring out again, if you can't say the words, then maybe you guys need to like just have a kitchen table conversation of when I make this sound, this is what it means. When I make this sound,
Or
this is what
code
it
words
means.
like
Right.
chili or red light, green light, yellow light. And that
Excellent.
can go different ways to where it
Hmm.
can be things where I'm not comfortable. It could be like red
Hmm.
light, red light. Like depending on, green is like, like
Right.
eh.
And if y'all don't know where to start with these conversations, get a book. Amazon will have it to you in 2 days, sometimes one. They are really getting good with that delivery. All right, or Google something. I am sure there is a list somewhere on
Mhm.
Google about intimate topics to have with your partner.
Well,
A matter of fact, I'm working today. I'll Google it and see what is out there, and probably hopefully get it into the show notes. Like there is something out there that will help you be able to have these conversations because you got to have the conversation. It is not okay. Look, can I just say that one more time, and then I'll turn it over to you. You have got to have the conversation. It can't keep relations cannot keep being this thing that accidentally happens in the dark. We don't know how we got there. We don't know how we get started. We don't know an end. Like we got to be able to talk about it so that both people have an outcome. And I understand if when you guys got together, y'all never had to talk about it.
mhm.
I also need you to understand that is not the way life continues to go. There's going to be something that happens at the very least, child rearing, childbearing. There's going to be something that happens that now requires us to talk about this thing that used to happen automatically. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
And to prepare for that conversation,
Mm-hmm.
you have to know your
Mm-hmm.
body. You have to
Please.
know what it looks like. You have
Mm-hmm.
to know what it's capable of. You
Mm-hmm.
have to know where the limits are. You have
Mm-hmm.
to be honest with yourself about your
Mm-hmm.
ick. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be honest with yourself about like, oh, that really does feel good. Okay, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be honest
Mm-hmm.
about anal play actually makes me feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's embarrassing. Okay, yeah, we understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is something that really just gets you there,
Mm-hmm.
the partner's going to need to know that. And so
Yeah.
having conversations where the conversations are important, but it's that internal, that initial
Mm-hmm.
exploration of your
Mm-hmm.
own personhood,
Mm-hmm.
which is so integral. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I have clients that are like, I'm gross. I don't want to touch myself.
Mm-hmm.
if you don't, how do you expect anybody else to want to?
Right.
Like,
Especially if you start off with, I'm gross.
right, like that's a hell of a disbelief to have. And it's
Right.
like you are normal.
Mm-hmm.
And if there are things that are perturbing,
Mm-hmm.
there are some ways to mitigate that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like maybe we take showers before we do anything. Maybe we need to put down plastic. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we need to put down a waterproof blanket. Those things
Mm-hmm.
exist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we talked about like incorporating food and how that like seems
Mm-hmm.
good in reality, but then, or in fantasy, but then in reality, like the sheets now have whipped cream on them. It's like put down a plastic like
Right.
sheet liner,
Okay,
like
let me put in a plug right here. The Liberator Store, theliberatorsstore.com. They have a specific blanket that comes in queen and king size, maybe even full size, that has a plastic lining in it that will allow you to play using whatever liquid you'd like to and still save your bed. And then at the end, you pull that up, throw it in the wash machine, and you're good for the next time. So we do not make any money off of this. I'm just saying, I want you guys to know there are options. Okay,
And
take
there
it
are
back.
throws. There are throws. You can get throws to where you just put it
Mm-hmm.
down on the space that you're using and put
Mm-hmm.
it on top of the blankets and sheets that you already have.
Mm-hmm.
Do the things, throw it in the wash.
There we
Like
go.
multiples. Like it can go
Yeah.
on top of your bedding to
Yes.
where you just move it and you're done. You're good. You can go to
We're
sleep that
done.
night. You don't even have to worry
Mm-hmm.
about it. So
Yeah.
like planning for those things are also important, but like exploring and what do you need to feel comfortable to explore? And
Mm-hmm.
that's partially like throw to therapy, where that can be really helpful is
Mm-hmm.
if you are having severe hangups, that is
Mm-hmm.
probably something to explore with
Yeah.
a therapist or a regular therapist.
Right.
What is going on? Why am I feeling these feelings of shame? Because like
Mm-hmm.
when a baby is born, there's no shame. They are running around naked, they're
Right.
touching things, they're exploring things, there's no shame. So
Yeah.
that is introduced
Mm-hmm.
somewhere along the way, which
Definitely
means
so.
it can be uninstalled. Like we can take it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Okay, I want to talk to my couples right now where they are feeling like doing some solo play exploratory is completely against their belief system.
Mm.
Okay, that's fine. Can y'all then schedule some specific time where you guys can explore with each other? And
Yeah.
so, hey, I don't really know my body. So Friday night, can we just schedule an hour where we figure out my body? Like
It makes me
we
think of
can't
John
like
Mayer's Your Body is a Wonderland. Like, yes, it is. This is the initial playground, guys. Like, this
right?
is the initial place that we get to
Yeah,
have fun and explore and
yeah,
test.
yeah, definitely so. And just don't have any hangups about it. And let me say, this might need to be repeated every 5 to 10 years. Like,
Mhm.
can we start all over again? Let's act like we
We
know
need a new
nothing.
body map.
And
Yeah.
right. And figure it out and go. And there's no shame in that. To use a
And
word.
not only
Like
is
there's no
there
shame
not
in that.
shame, I think there's so much liberation because when we
Mm,
know what to expect from our body, when we know we're not
mhm,
going blind into a situation that could
mhm.
result, because there are sexual injuries. People
Yeah.
go to the ER, maybe not every day. I'm not a doctor. I need doctors.
Somewhere, at least once a day, I would bet.
Here, once
Somewhere,
a
at least
day,
once
there
a
is
day.
guaranteed a sex injury because people are using things that they should not be using,
Yeah.
especially children. When they're
Hmm.
not given the tools to explore, they
Hmm.
start using weird things
Definitely so.
because this is what they have access to.
Yeah.
And so the same thing happens when you're an adult and you've never explored, you've never tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
You start putting things in places where things are not necessarily supposed to be.
Yeah. What that brings up for me is the cases where we have had a medical something happen or a new diagnosis, which has impacted a couple's intimate life, and there's been an injury, and we've had to repair for that from that.
Mhm.
And so, and I think the biggest thing is sometimes with medical procedures, our medical professionals,
Mhm.
I do love them, I do appreciate them, they are not trained in intimacy.
No.
They are not trained. They're trained in the body. They're trained in the body functioning. They're
Mhm.
not trained in actual sex and sexuality. And
And
so,
sexual functioning is usually second to any other
correct,
type of functioning. So, like if
correct.
we have prostate cancers or things like that, they're not
Yes,
necessarily thinking about how to maintain
right.
an erection.
Definitely so. So it is going to be incumbent upon you to
Mhm.
ask your medical professional, hey, when can I re-engage? Hey, what do I need to do differently?
This is
Hey,
important
what
for
do I
me. How
need to
can
be
we
aware
salvage
of?
this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How can we
Mm-hmm.
salvage this in this surgery? Like I
Mm-hmm.
know we're next to important parts.
Yeah.
How can we make sure that this is
Yeah.
stable after this surgery before we
Definitely.
get into the cutting
Mm-hmm.
versus
Mm-hmm.
trying to deal with the aftermath? And now
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot we can do.
Right. Definitely so. Definitely so. Um, my heart hurts for those couples right now. I'm thinking about one case in particular, and I don't think it was my case, but of a couple because some medications they were on made their bones a little brittle.
Yeah.
And so they're were engaging in regular activities, and I think a rib got cracked or broke or something. And it's kind of just devastating the couple because now I don't want to be hurt again. And my partner is like, I don't want to hurt you again. So
Mhm.
what does this mean? And so definitely if you guys are out there and anybody's dealing with anything like that, please come in so we can help you walk through that and regain that. Because I think what happens is like, oh my God, okay, we're never gonna do that again because I don't want to be hurt and I don't want to hurt you.
Mhm.
But a very I think important, the most intimate part of your relationship can be the most intimate part of your relationship. We don't want you to lose that. We don't want the illness or whatever to take that away from you as well. And I've had clients who come in and we've just talked about some alternatives.
Mhm.
Okay, what about y'all do this? How about now doing this? How about now doing this? And it has completely changed because the other thing, what can happen to all of us is when we're looking at what we can't do, we
Mhm.
it's so hard to turn around to see what we can do.
Mhm.
And so having a professional just say, "Hey, have you thought about this?" Well, no, I haven't. Is that possible? And it could be as simple as, okay, maybe I need to move to a chair.
Mhm.
Maybe we need to take one of those kitchen chairs out the kitchen and put it in the bedroom, or maybe sex just needs to have it in the kitchen because everything is a lot more sturdy, or we can tie some things down, or what. Um, and so just know that there are solutions and you may have never thought of them just because you're locked in the pain or the grief or the loss of
Mhm.
what's going on. So, okay, what else?
Well, what you made me think of with the
Hmm.
pain is no pain is probably one unrealistic throughout your life. One, you
Mm,
are going to cause pain to your partner. Your partner is
mm-hmm,
going to cause pain to
mm-hmm.
you. That is going to happen. So, like, we need to prepare for this inevitability. In
Possibly physically, emotionally, spiritually,
all
like
the
it's
things.
something's gonna happen. Yeah.
When you think statistically of the person you're around the most, that's going
Hmm.
to be the person that has the most
Yeah.
access to this.
Like it's as
So
simple as the person who you're dancing on the dance floor with is the person who's probably gonna step on your toes at some
yeah,
point in time.
you're not going to have
And
somebody from across the room do it.
no. And so kind of accepting that. And what you're looking for is that they don't step on your same toes like three times the same exact way. That's
And
what we're looking for.
yes, and understanding that stepping on your toes is a level of pain,
Mm-hmm.
and like something feeling like it's tearing is a different level.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
like, discomfort
Yeah.
can be tolerated.
Mm-hmm.
Pain is something that we don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily need to incorporate. However, there are some couples that do seek pain, and that is
Mm-hmm.
okay too. So it's
Right.
figuring out. I can
Yeah.
go up to a 2, maybe a 3, and still like
Yeah.
be engaged.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get to a 4, I'm out of sexy time
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
in this. I can only think about this pain. So
Yeah.
understanding a certain amount of like we're not trying for no pain, especially if you're trying to work through injuries or you're coming
Mm-hmm.
back from surgery or coming back from
Mm-hmm.
trauma. Things are going to
Mm-hmm.
feel uncomfortable. Things are going to feel different
Mm-hmm.
because things have healed, things have
Mm-hmm.
scarred, things have
Mm-hmm.
built up additional tissues. And so
Yeah.
we need to experiment and figure out thresholds
Yeah.
of, okay, and this is again red, green, yellow, of
Right.
green means go, yellow, proceed with caution, red is stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, in that particular situation so that I can understand that this is tolerable pain.
Yeah.
Because some people will have sex and they will always have a certain amount of pain.
Yeah.
They still want to have sex. And
Right.
that's really important. And especially if
Hmm.
we're also looking at trauma survivors,
Yes.
it may cause pain.
Excellent. Hmm. Hmm.
And understanding that their partner doesn't want to be the cause of that, you aren't.
Hmm.
And I need to know that this is a way that I can still connect and use my body
Hmm.
despite having this reaction.
Yes. Which means, well, which what the thing I'm going to talk about next brings up for me is having an aftercare plan. And
Yes.
so whether you get triggered by a physical pain, an emotional pain, however,
Mhm.
we got to have a plan for that. Like running to the bathroom and getting into the fetal position and your partner's just left, like what happened is
Mhm.
not a good plan. And
Mhm.
so let's talk about, hey, if I have to do this, this is what I'm gonna need you to do to support me. Or if what this happens, what needs to happen to support you. And make sure we have some type of coming back together and repair.
Mhm.
Or walking through it. Hey, we're getting to my red zone.
Mhm.
Let's bring it back down to the yellow zone. And
Mhm.
making sure that those good conversations are there and we're working together. Yeah.
And that can happen even when nothing is actually wrong. And this is going to go back to the
Yeah.
body knowledge.
But
Like
that's so good.
if someone is so overstimulated in a
Hmm.
good way, it doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily need to be in a bad way. They could go
Right.
nonverbal. If they
Oh,
go
that's good.
nonverbal, they're not able to communicate that they've gone nonverbal. So
Hmm.
if I know that this is something that I do, I need
Hmm.
to communicate to that my partner,
Hmm.
hey, if things get really good,
Hmm.
I may just go nonverbal and not be able to
Hmm.
communicate anything. I will slap the bed if
Hmm.
I'm able to, or I will do
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z so that I can
Yeah.
communicate that this is where I am and I need you to back off
Yeah.
so that I
Yeah.
can come down from that high.
Definitely so. And I want to talk to a couple, to whoever listening. You can also do that in a very verbal conversation. Just like, okay, I need 10. One of my couples, they were like, time out. Like that's going to be the code. Time out, time out, time out. Um, and so anytime you're feeling like, okay, this conversation is edging up, I'm starting to get emotional. I feel myself getting defensive. What do you need to do? And so you like, I need 10, let's stop, like time out, like and having those conversations. And then
Mhm.
what does a timeout look like? Okay.
Mhm.
So does it look like, okay, I'll go walk around the block and I'll be back. I'm not comfortable with you leaving the house when you take a time out. Okay, I'll go to the basement, I'll go upstairs, I'll go stand on the roof, like, and really kind of having that, what does that look like?
And
So
that's where that body autonomy and responsibility comes
yes,
in. Again,
yes.
of how does this feel in my body? What is coming
Mm-hmm.
up? What do I need to ground me? What do
Yes.
I need? And what it may look like to someone else
Yeah.
may look different. So, like, maybe
Mm-hmm.
I need to go and watch sports because that calms me down and distracts me. Whereas to
Right.
some other person that revs
Mm-hmm.
because they're getting involved. Or
Mm-hmm.
walking around the block, well, that would exhaust me versus I need the sunshine, I need the fresh
Mm-hmm.
air. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, different strokes for different folks, but you need
Right.
to know what works for you.
Please do. Like, and think about it. And it may take, I know this week I gave a client, her homework is just to observe herself for the next 2 weeks. Just observe yourself. What are the things that calm me down? What are the things that upset me? Like, how fast does it take me to calm down?
Mhm.
What can I implement? So, like, if your calm down is 48 hours in your romantic relationship, yeah, I'm gonna really want you to get that down to less than 4. Like, I don't want it impacting a whole day, half the
Mhm.
week. And so start to try different things. Okay, when I do this, I calm down. When I do this, I notice I can get back into the conversation faster when I do this. And so, like, literally practicing trying different things. But the same thing with your intimate life. Okay,
Mhm.
this is the aftercare I need. This is what I need to do. This is what I need you to tell me so that I can, like, re-engage
And
less than a year.
understanding the external circumstances and how much they impact
Hmm.
you, in that you reacting to somebody cutting you off in traffic is going to hit different if you didn't sleep well, if you didn't
Yeah.
eat, if your kids were hard to get to school in the morning, if you're
Yeah.
not communicating with your partner, versus all of these things actually
Mhm.
going well. You did eat, you did get good
Mhm.
sleep, you had good communication with your partner, your kids were angels this morning. That's going
Mhm.
to hit different. And so,
Yes.
like, I don't know why I got mad. Okay, think about
Okay.
it. You do.
Mhm. Mhm.
What
Start
else was going
like a body map, an emotion map, like what happened. Which again, I think I feel like I say this to my clients on repeat. Can adults with full-time jobs please stop trying to initiate activities, relations after 9 o'clock at night? Please stop. And if there's in any type of past injuries, then we definitely don't. Like decision fatigue is a thing. Regular fatigue after having a full day is a thing. So let's be cognizant of that. Like if you're setting yourself up for a great time, let's make sure you're setting yourself up well, not when you can like barely hold your head up for more than 2 minutes because you're falling asleep. Yeah.
Also, there is research specifically on when our bodies are more flexible.
Mm.
Like Olympic athletes have specific times that they do specific workouts because their
Wow.
body is primed in a different way
Yeah.
for different things. So if I'm a
Yeah.
gymnast, maybe I need to work out more in the morning or more in the
Mm-hmm.
evening or in certain temperatures because my body responds to different things, external stimuli and the time of day and how much energy I have. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have to be aware of all of those things and how they coalesce
Yeah.
into activity.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. Which goes back to, can we have a conversation? Can we have a conversation? Okay, we got 3 minutes left. So in our last 3 minutes, what is the takeaway? What's the one takeaway you want clients walking away with today? Anybody within the sound of our voice, what do you want them to know?
Yes. Um, Pick something that you have been avoiding about yourself and explore
Mm,
it. Figure
okay.
out what is going on for you. Is it how you're
Yeah.
responding to a situation? It's how you feel in a particular situation. Is it how you feel in a particular set of clothes? It's how you look
Mm,
naked or how you're performing. Find something that you've been avoiding and
hmm.
explore that, please.
Yes. All right. My takeaway from today, what I would like is have the conversation. Even if you need to turn the lights off and have the conversation, even if you need to say, okay, you go get on your cell phone in the basement, I'm going to stay in the bedroom, turn the lights off, and that's how we're going to have the conversation. But do what you need to do to make the conversation. Jessica, you were just doing text message. So if we need to do it by text, I'm going to say, please make a point to also add tone in there. Like, my tone is cheerful. Like, add a smiley face, like, to make sure that tone, because text and tone is a thing that I think we all know is a thing. And so, but find a way to have the conversation and learning to have hard conversations are those transferable skills.
Mhm.
And so, this is good for your whole life. It was good for your whole life. So, all right. Thank you so much for Jessica for spending this time with me today. I hope everybody got something out of it, and we'll see you guys next Friday. All right.
Yeah.
Bye bye.